Hello, welcome to the tutorial on building a logistics apps with Radzen Blazor Studio. My name is Benjamin Fadina. In this first lesson, I shall be implementing Shipment Module. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to C drive. I'm going to create a new folder on my C drive. I'm going to call it dev. Now, after doing that, I'm going to start Radzen Blazor Studio. This Radzen Blazor Studio is under my recent files. So I click on it. So I'm going to click on New Application. So I'm going to choose Blazor Web Application. I'll click Next. I'm going to call the application LogiCore. I'm going to choose .NET Framework 10. As for interactivity, there are three options: Server, WebAssembly, and Auto. I'm going to choose Auto. There are different themes that can be used for the app. So one could use Material 3, Material Dark. Let me choose, let me just choose Material Dark. I'm going to leave Enable Light Stroke Dark Appearance toggle on. I'm going to use partial Blazor classes. I'm going to use partial classes. Then I'm going to enable Progressive WebAssembly. So I'm going to create the project in C/dev/LogiCore. Then I'm going to click on Finish. So right now, the application is loading. Change the title of the tutorial to Building a Logistics App with Radzen Blazor Studio and Visual Studio 2026. As you can see, I started by creating the app with Radzen Blazor Studio, but the bulk of my development work in this lesson will be done with Visual Studio 2026. The application is still being built. Now that the application has been built, I'm going to click on Run. So this is how the project looks like now. I can switch on and off. Okay. So now I'm going to click stop. Then I'll right click on one of the projects. You can see there are two projects in the solution. We have a client project and a server project. I'm going to right click on the server project. I'm going to select reveal in Explorer. Now, after doing that, you can see that I have both the client folder, the client project folder, and the server project folder being shown, but that's not what I'm going to open. I right click on logicore.sln file. I'm going to say open with, and I'm going to select Microsoft Visual Studio, which represents the latest version of Microsoft Visual Studio, which is Microsoft Visual Studio 2026. Now I'm going to open Solution Explorer. So I'm going to start with the server project. So let's start with the models first. I'm going to right click on logicore.server. So I'm going to say add new folder. Then the name of the folder I'm going to create is called models. Then I'm going to create a subfolder under models. Add new folder. I'm going to call this subfolder shipments. Now under shipments folder, I'm going to add two classes, shipment.cs and shipment.details.cs. So let's start with shipment.cs. Let me copy it. So here, I'll right click. I'm going to say add. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say add new class. So let me delete that. So add new class. The name of this class will be shipment. Shipment. So I click add. Now what do we have in shipment class? In shipment.cs file, we have the first class whose name is shipment, and it has properties like shipment ID, tracking number, sender name, sender email, sender phone, recipient name, recipient email, recipient phone, origin address, origin city, origin state, origin postal code, origin country, destination address, destination city, Then it also has some other properties that are grouped under shipment details, like the status of the shipment, and the default status is shipment state is pending. And then we have the service type, and the default service type is ground. Then we have some properties that are grouped under dimensions. There are some properties that are grouped under date, like pickup date. You have delivery, and then you have billing, then you have audit fields. Then we have the another class called package. So in package class, we have properties like package ID, shipment ID, weight, length. And then we also have another class called shipment event. So in shipment event class, we have properties like event ID, shipment ID, tracking number. Then we have an enum called shipment status. And the status of a shipment can be either impending or whether it's picked up scheduled, whether it's picked up, whether it's in transit, at hub, out for delivery, delivered, failed, returned, initiated, returned, cancelled. Then we have service type. Service type can be same day, overnight, 2-day, ground, freight, international. We have shipment event type. It could be a shipment event type could be created, pickup scheduled, picked up, departed facility, arrived at hub, in transit, out for delivery, delivery attempted, delivered, delivery failed, return initiated, return to sender, cancelled, exception, hold at location, customer clearance. Now, the next file we are going to create is shipment details. That's the data transfer objects for shipments. Shipment details. So I'm going to right click on shipment folder again. I'm going to say add class. So the name of this class is going to be shipment details. The name of this file rather, because it's going to contain several classes. So what do we have? Oh, inside this file. Okay, inside shipment DTO, we have a DTO called shipment list DTO. We have another DTO called shipment detail DTO. We have another DTO which is used when creating a new shipment. The name of this is called create shipment DTO. And then we have another DTO for shipment event called shipment event DTO. And then we have another event class called add shipment event DTO. We have package DTO. We have shipment filter DTO. We have shipment start DTO. So now, having done that, I'm done with the models. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called data. Now inside this data folder, I'm going to create a class called appdbcontext. But before I go ahead and create a class called appdbcontext, I need to install some packages. So for us to do that, let's double click on the LogiCore server project. Let's see the things that we already have. We have Radzen.blazor package already installed. We have a WebAssembly.server package already installed. The client project is already included as a reference. Because of time, I'm going to copy all this. So the other packages I'm going to include in this project, I'm going to add their reference here. And because I want to work with the latest package, I will change for entity framework core, I will change it to 10. For SQL Server, I will change it to 10. For tools, I will change it to 10. For entity framework core.design, I will also change it to 10. Now, I'll go back to the class I created earlier on under data folder. That's app db context. So this is how the class looks like. Then I'm going to create another folder called configurations. So I right click on LogiCore server project. So I'm going to say add new folder. I'm going to call it configurations. Then I'm going to create a class in this folder. The name of the class will be shipment configuration. So I right click on configurations folder, add class. The name of the class will be shipment configuration. Now these are the contents of shipment configuration.cs. First of all, we have shipment configuration class itself, which implements an interface called identity configuration of shipment. So um, the shipment configuration class is implementing the configure method. Then we also have the package configuration class, also implementing the configure method. We have shipment event configuration class, also implementing the configure method. Then another thing we are going to have is the database seeder. So that one will be right under data folder. So I'm going to right click on data. I'm going to say add class db seeder. Now this is what we have. So this db seeder class seeks representative data on first run. So its function is to insert rows, initial rows into the database. So we have the seed async method, takes in appdb context as parameter. So we only seed when the table is empty. So we check if the shipment table is empty. If it is empty, then we seed. We also see the shipment event table as well. Then the next thing is we are going to create services folder if it is not yet created. So it's not yet created. So I'll right click on LogiCore.server, add new folder. I'm going to call it services. So under services, I'm going to create a subfolder called shipment. Now, inside shipment subfolder, I'm going to first create an interface. So this interface is going to define all the operations that shipment service is supposed to carry out. So I'm going to right click on shipments folder. There, I'm going to say add new item. I'm going to choose interface. So I'm going to call this interface iShipment service. So first of all, we have iShipment service. So it defines methods like get shipment async, get shipment count, update status, delete shipment. Having defined the interface, the next thing is for us to create the concrete implementation of our interface. Shipment service. So now let's right click on shipments folder and create a class called shipment service. So what are we doing in shipment service? We are implementing all the methods that are defined in shipment service. iShipment service. So this shipment service is ES core stroke SQL Server implementation of iShipment service. So you can see get shipment by ID async, get shipment by tracking number, get stats async, create shipment async, update shipment async, update status async, add event async. Then we have calculate shipping cost. We have calculate estimated delivery. We have event type to status to detail DTO. All right. The next thing is we are going to implement a controller called shipments controller.cs. So I'm going to right click. Let me even show you controllers. In controllers folder, we have two controllers created by Radzen Blazor Studio. That's report controller and upload controller. So I'm going to right click on the controllers folder. I'm going to say add. Let me just say new class. Shipment controller. So you can see that we are passing an instance of shipment service into the constructor. So look at the endpoints that have been implemented. We have the get all, we have the count, we have the start endpoint, get shipment by ID endpoint, track shipment by tracking number endpoint, create shipment endpoint, update shipment endpoint, update shipment status endpoint, add shipment event endpoint, delete shipment endpoint, and calculate cost endpoint. The next thing I'm going to work on is program.cs. Let me just copy this. Now let's look at how program.cs looks like now. This is how it looks like. So what are the changes? We have the section of program.cs which is registering Blazor. We have another section of program.cs which is registering Radzen. Another section of program.cs which is registering the database. We have another section of the program.cs which is registering application services. We want auto migration and seed into a core. Then we have the middleware section. Then we have app settings.development.json. I'm not going to alter that. We have app settings.json itself. So right now, let me double click on app settings.json. You can see it doesn't have any entry for database connection string. So I'm now going to modify it so that a connection string is now created for a database on my local system. So server is called to Phoenix, database is called to LogiCore DB. I'm using trusted connection. Multiple active resource sets equal to true. Trust server certificate equals true. Now, having done that, the next thing I want to do is I want to change the images. So I want to change the images that are being used in this project. Wait. Okay. So I'm going to download this image. Local login as well. I'm going to download. And logo.png, I'm going to download as well. So I'm going to copy all the 3 files I downloaded. I'll click the copy icon. I'm going to right click on images folder under my project. I'm going to say browse in File Explorer. I'm going to paste them. So I'm replacing these files, these Radzen generated files, with my own custom images. Also, I'm going to download favicon.ico and icon512.png. So I'll come back here. I'll go to www root. I'm going to paste. So I'm going to replace the Radzen generated favicon and icon 512. Then I go back to my project. Then I'll go to server again. At this point, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to tools. I'll go to look at package manager. I'm going to say package manager console. I'm going to say add hyphen migration start. Then after that, I'm going to say update hyphen database. The database tables have been created. Now that that's done, let's go to client side. Let's start with the program.cs. So this is the this program.cs. This is the way it looks like now. Let's change it. Now, what has changed is that we've added entry that registers a client side service for shipment service, but we have not yet implemented it. So in this client project, we are going to add another folder called services. And inside services folder, we are going to create another subfolder called shipments. So we are going to have an interface called iShipment service. Now this is client side contract for shipment operations. And these contracts are to be implemented by shipment HTTP service, which calls the REST API, that is the shipment controller in the server project. So now shipment HTTP service. So we right click on shipments, add class. We call this class shipment HTTP service. So this is a Blazor WebAssembly HTTP client that proxies all calls to API shipments on the server. So it is registered as scoped in program.cs. As you can see, builder.services.add scope. Okay. Now the next thing we need to implement are our pages. So under pages folder, we are going to create a subfolder for shipments. We have the index.razor page. We are not touching that for now. So add new folder under pages. Let's call it shipments. The first component I'm going to create is add event dialog component. I'm going to do that from Radzen Blazor Studio. So I click on this. I'm going to say new on shipments. I'm going to say new page. I'm going to say empty. I'll click on next. I'm not including it in navigation, so I uncheck that. So add event dialog. I'll click on finish. So you can see I have add event dialog.razor and add event dialog.razor.cs. So let's start with the add event dialog.razor.cs. So we have shipment ID as parameter and add shipment event detail as another parameter. And then we are injecting shipment service, dialog service, notification service. Now we have a method which handles on submit. Now this add event dialog. That this is the markup. The Radzen template form expense an item of add shipment event detail. And the data is at event detail. Now the next component we are going to create is create shipment component. I'll do it from Blazor Studio. So I'm going to say add new page, empty page. I'm going to call it create shipment. Let's start with create shipment.razor.cs. The create shipment page is double duty. It handles edits and creation of new shipment. So when shipment ID is null, that means we are creating a new shipment. But when it is not null, that means we are updating an existing shipment. As you can see, this page is handling two routes. One route for creation, another route for editing an existing shipment. The next component we are going to create is shipment detail component. I'm going to do it from Radzen Blazor Studio as well. Shipment detail. So how does shipment detail.razor.cs looks like? Well, we have the shipment ID, navigation manager, dialog service, notification service, shipment services injected. We have the shipment detail DTO. We have progress steps. In then we in the onParameter set async method, we get the shipment by ID. Then we have the batch to style L pass. Next one is the markup. So we are going to edit the default Radzen Blazor markup. So I'm replacing it with my own custom markup. Oh, sorry. You have a Radzen progress bar. circular on this page. If shipment is null, there will be an alert that will be displayed for that. Otherwise, the page contents will be displayed. Then we have shipment list.razor as well. So add new page, empty. Shipment list. Then we have track shipment component as well. Track shipment. So I go back to Radzen, where I click on this track shipment. So I click finish. Then let's Let's start with track shipment.razor.cs.
Okay.
Then it's time for the markup for tracking shipment. Okay, now we head over to main layout. Now, if you look at main layout here, you can see it contains just one item from home. But now we want to alter this main layout. Then the code behind for main layout. At this point, let's build our project, our solution. Say build clean solution. Let's say build solution. Okay, so now let's run our project. So I click on the play button. The server is listening on port 5001. This index page. So let's click on shipments. Let me run the project again. Okay. Let me click on shipments. Okay. Okay, so clicking on shipments is loading, as you can see. Good. So that's shipments. So uh, let's copy this shipment ID. You can see this that you can add event to shipment. So the add tracking event dialog appears. I'm going to click cancel. Let's go to track shipment. So you put tracking number and then you click track. So this is it. So you can see it's pending. All right, thank you for watching.